Welcome to the newest episode in the Masterclass series. Masterclasses are a fantastic way to quickly learn by watching others learn. You can efficiently digest many of a fantastic instructor's best ideas in an environment that doesn't include being stressed about your own playing. Over time, I hope to have a library of masterclasses that includes many of the most commonly played pieces, so you can find a masterclass on the piece you are working on. These are longer videos, so I'm eager to hear in the comments if this is something that is valuable to you.
I really liked your clear sound. You have really a lovely sound on your violin. Okay. I wonder if we could add a little bit more fun to Bach. When you think of Bach, do you think of fun very often? Probably not. That's okay. However, yeah, you're right. Most of the time when you hear Bach, sometimes your thought is like, this is kind of boring, right? But Bach can be fun. And it all depends on who's playing, okay? So, do you want to make Bach fun? Sure. Okay, good. Let's try adding a little bit more lift to the frog on the beginning, okay? So, like you said, all your sound is nice and lovely, but we're kind of like, there's this, the fun scale is like up here and down here, and right now we're kind of right in the middle. Does that make sense? So let's see if we can reach both sides, okay? All right, so let's lift. Let's go all the way to the front. Sometimes it helps to think, like to over-exaggerate, to go past the frog. Try it, let's just see what happens, okay? Yeah, did that feel weird? Okay, now, of course, you have to come back to where you can actually play, right? So how about just the first lift? We over-exaggerate, but we have to come back, okay? So we're gonna add a breath to that first part. Can you try that? Sorry. Yes, and it kind of opens up your violin even more. You have a beautiful sounding violin. It can play really loudly. So let's use that by using more of that motion. Try it again. And then go on from there and see if you can go. This is like the boring zone. We want to go to the fun zones of the bow. Okay, try it again. Yes, and keep going. There you go. And keep going. Sorry, I took you. Let's try it one more time for the beginning. Will you give me like a 5-minute warning before I need to move on? Okay. Okay, good. Yes, and with that, I kind of mentioned a breath. Did you hear that when I said that? We can add more space to each of those chords. Those chords are not always fun to play, right? Especially that one, maybe. So let's see if we can add a little bit more space and breath right before we play each of the chords. Can you try that? There we go. And yes, exactly. And then it comes down just a little bit, right? So that's the other part of the fun zone. The dynamics are either really loud or really quiet. And sometimes we need to be in the middle, right? But we can't always be in the middle because then there's the boring zone forever and ever and ever, right? Okay, good. Let's try that one more time. And you'll notice these dynamics. What are you starting with? Right. That's when we get to use all of our bow. That's when we get to use all of that breath. Okay, and then it's all kind of forte. There's a little bit of a drop in the sound when we come down the scale, right? And then at the very end of this phrase, we have what?
Piano.
Right, exactly. So let's use the breath to exaggerate those dynamics and add the fun side. And breathe. There you go. Okay, let's go on. Same thing. Now, how do we get, I can see that your elbow's a little bit back. Has David ever mentioned anything about that? Okay, try swinging it forward so that the forefinger is not as uncomfortable to reach for. Can you try that? And then breathe and settle into that chord. Yes. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to have you exaggerate the lift. Lift, set, and then just relax into that chord. Yes. Do you feel like you lifted? Okay, do you think you can lift up to your eyebrows? Up here and then settle into that chord. Yes, try it again. Right, and with your elbow under and your pinky in place, you gave yourself, with the lift, you gave yourself enough time for that pinky to drop in so the chord was consistent and together, right? Instead of just hearing one note, one string over the other. Yes, try that again. I want you to do that like 2 more times so you can get comfortable with that lift. Yes. One more. Yes, exactly. Okay, so the nice thing about this is it's an unaccompanied piece, right? So you don't have a pianist who's like trying to follow you and make sure that you're in tempo. So you get to, now we have to stay in tempo most, like there's a balance between taking too much time and being too straight with time, especially with Bach. But you can use those lifts to kind of just breathe. So don't feel like you have to be so right on the beat exactly all the time. Does that make sense? You can stretch just a tiny bit, and that's an example of when you can stretch. Okay, so try it again and go on. Good. But add the lift, Here's a forte. Yes, okay, that's the end of the phrase. David's probably done some Baroque work with you, where sometimes you vibrate and sometimes you don't. And like if you were to play in a Baroque ensemble, most of the ensemble, like the orchestra, doesn't actually vibrate, but the soloist will vibrate. And right now you're a soloist, so you can vibrate, but you also, Bach was really well known for just loving those like straight ringing tones where they just last forever. He was an organist and he composed a lot for organ, and organ players don't vibrate, right? Because it's like a piano, you can't vibrate the piano, but you can sustain those notes for a long time. And the violin, I want you to try something. I just want you to play that B. It's not a ringing tone, but I want you to see how long you can make it ring after you play.
With vibrato?
Yeah, you can play a little vibrato. Good. You are really quick to try to finish the note. Did you hear the ring after it?
Kind of.
Okay. I want you to use the ring as like part of the note. Does that make sense? Oh, that was a lovely ring. Yes. It's not at the end of the piece, right? But it's at the end of the phrase. I want you to be able to hear that small ring at the very end. Okay, before you go on, try that. Yes, did you finish or hurry to finish, or did you listen to the ring? Yeah, let's see if we can listen to the ring. Yes, and it doesn't have to have a crescendo. You can just let it relax off. You know, try to get a little fiddle in there. Yes. I want you to try something. Try not, you have a really good chord tone. Try not to press into it. Try not to crescendo into the very end of the note. Does that make sense? Sorry. Yes. Okay. And you can kind of shorten it to see if the ring lasts a little bit longer. This is a little experimenting. I don't actually want you to play it exactly like how you're playing it right now, but I want you to experiment with that ring, how it finishes the phrase. Yes! Was go on from there. So try finger. Oh, sorry, let me try it again. So listen for the ring before you go to the next one. Yes, that was pretty good. I still think that you could try not to rush the end of the note. Maybe I'm not being very clear about that. Let me show you two different examples. So there's this, and there's this. What's the difference between the two?
Well, like the first one was faster, I guess.
Faster in
And
both speed. Mm-hmm. And the other one is?
Slow. Yeah.
Yeah, just coming off, right? Yeah, can you try that? Try it just coming off on that beat.
Oh, 5 minutes.
I like that. And then go on. So play exactly like that, and then go on after the ring. Yes. Did you notice like a relaxed feel to the piece at that point? Exactly. Okay, yes. So Bach is not rushed. It's just easy and beautiful. And you want to hear those rings. I would suggest going home and finding all the places you can just let it finish like a ring, with a ring, before you move on to the next part. Okay, I wanted to touch over here really quick before we finish. I really liked how you played this part. And then what do we do dynamically? Yes. That's going to put us in the fun zone if we really add that dynamic to it. Okay, will you try that? Good, I think it starts up. Yeah. Right. Okay, now we got the general dynamics. Now what can we do to make this part more fun from here to here? Should we keep it all the same dynamic level?
Decrescendo down to the
Yes, and we want to find the top of the phrase, or the climax of the phrase. What note do you feel like from here to here, it's generally the highest pitch, would be the top of the phrase?
And
The A, right, exactly. So we want to go to there, and then we can start to decrescendo as we get closer to the next part. Then we come down for that one. You want to try it? We'll go to electro. That's right. So even though this part is pianissimo, we're still going to go to that note. Okay? I wasn't totally convinced that that was the top of the phrase. It almost sounded like right here was the top of the phrase. You want to try it again? See if you can get that A on both sides. Yes, it's kind of hard to think about it when you haven't before, right? In the middle of play. Will you try it one more time and see if you can add a little bit of extra vibrato to that note? And then I would say bring your elbow forward just a tiny bit to get that ringing forward into. Okay? Try it one more time. We see if we can get that. Here. Yes, it feels strange. Try it again. You'll get used to it. That's it, exactly. Good. Okay, okay. All right, good job. That was wonderful. It was great to hear you. nice. I'm going to grab the stand again. Okay, just one thought about performing direction. I really love for me, when I perform, I don't always like looking at the audience. But I want my violin to be facing the audience. So, yes, exactly. So my F holes are producing the sound, right? And wherever they're facing, that's where the sound is going to go towards.
Yeah.
So, as David mentioned this before.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
At the risk of being repetitive.
We talked about it.
Right, exactly. So when I say I don't really like looking at the audience, I will turn my body just slightly so my violin F holes, the sound production is moving towards the audience, and then I don't have to look at the audience. I can look away. And also, it's just a better sound overall. So where would you say your sound was going towards the whole time? Were you aware?
To the wall.
Yes. And imagine how much more sound we could get if we were facing that way. So I have you stand that way in just a second. Okay. Every once in a while I could see you turning just a tiny bit. I was like, okay, keep going, keep going. So you're almost there. So let's try it again. Will you find that stance? See where you need to put your feet. Exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this is just a performance idea. Whenever you come up to perform, be aware of where this is going and then just adjust your feet. Okay? Okay. Very solid and very big sound. That was excellent. Okay, let's start. I had some thoughts about phrasing. Your vibrato is lovely, and your overall direction of each phrase was totally appropriate. There were a couple of phrases where we lost the top of the phrase. I'm going to have you come over here so you're not right in the way of the microphone. Actually, maybe this way a little more so you don't smack it. Okay, good. Can we start one more time from the beginning? You don't have to give the intro, just right where he starts, measure 15. Good, pause for a second. That I think was the halfway through. Let's see if we can start right at the beginning. That's okay. They start the same. It's kind of confusing, right? Yes, good. Okay. I could tell that you wanted that to be the top of the phrase, right? Oh, okay.
I don't think phrases, I just think I'm playing this song.
That's okay. That just means that I have something to teach you. That's good. Okay. Well, the top of your phrase, essentially a phrase is like this archway. Okay? There's the top of it. There's the top to it, right? And there's the sides are down below the top. Yes? Okay. So we start the phrase on that side of the archway, and we end the phrase on that side of the archway. Okay? This is the first phrase. The next phrase, I'm going to have you just figure out where the beginning and the end is. Now, the top is usually where it's like the loudest. We're emphasizing that spot. Okay? So, I'm going to play it. You point to the note that is the most emphasized in the phrase. Okay? Somewhere between here and here.
Probably. I agree. This part.
Okay.
Start of the second measure.
Yes. I take it back. There's like a mini phrase. There's too many phrases in between, right? Because I kind of dropped in the sound right here. You want to hear it one more time? Let's hear it one more time. I want you. So you were right about the first mini phrase. Now tell me about the second mini phrase, okay?
The finish of the third.
Can you just point to the note?
Yeah, right here. The finish of the third measure.
Right there? You feel like that note had the most emphasis?
No.
Okay, let me try it again.
Yeah, I still think it's kind of like right. Yeah.
Okay, yes, it's somewhere around this area, right? Sometimes it can be vague, sometimes it can be like a really specific note. So I think you're totally right. Will you try it? And what do you do dynamically for the top of the phrase?
You increase the sound, like forte.
Right, exactly. Let's try it. And then I'll tune. Good. Okay, that's the idea. Now let's go to the next one. This time you get to play until you find the end of the phrase.
Okay. Till I find the end of the phrase? End.
So, oh, sorry. We're going to start in measure
Oh, yeah.
19.
Totally forgot about
That's
that.
okay. That happens when you're
Yeah.
having fun playing. Okay, let's try it one more time from here. Do you want to just
like
play?
kind of like right? From what I've heard thus far, I feel like it's like these two notes.
That could be a mini phrase, exactly. This is one big phrase, and there's two mini phrases here. And you can tell kind of by the rest. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
There's a big breath here before you start a new idea. But you're right, there's kind of a little mini phrase right here, and then
there's going to be
finishes.
like another phrase, like right.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the top of the phrase is here. I think you were indicating that, right? The second mini phrase, where is the top of this phrase?
Highest note.
Yeah, I was missing that the first time you played it. Can you try it from measure 19? See if we can emphasize both of the tops of those phrases. Okay. Yes, that's the idea. Now that top of the phrase was very obvious. Sorry. I always keep my family available. Put this in the kitchen for me. Thanks. Okay. Let's go on. And did you notice that your vibrato is so excellent, but the fourth finger doesn't want to vibrate?
Oh, yeah. yeah.
Let's give it a little bit of vibrato because your vibrato is so good. Why not? Okay, so let's try it again one more time from 19. Use that vibrato. And then when you come back to it, anytime you have that fourth finger vibrato. Okay, we're gonna go on all the way through the triplets to the end of the chord phrase. Okay, and then we gotta figure out where the top of the phrase is over here. Okay, so let's try it one more time.
Could I make a guess?
Oh, yeah.
Top note here, and then probably again the top note there.
Mm-hmm. I kind of have a feeling that this, yes, I think you're right, exactly. It kind of goes down. These are not so much mini phrases because it kind of all is going to there, right?
Actually, that note, or maybe that one.
Try it. Let's see what happens. Yeah, let's see what happens. So 19.
19?
Yeah. Using vibrato. There you go. Here comes another other top of the phrase. That's another one. Yes, okay.
The G on that one.
That's okay. All right. So you pointed to that and that,
But
right? And
yeah,
that.
That one's my final guess.
But I'm not sure if I heard it come out. Can you try it again to see if we can?
Yeah. Back from 19 or just?
No, I think we'll start from the pickup to 25. No, actually, we're going to start right on measure 27. Because we have another one of those top of the phrase notes that didn't quite come out this last time. Okay? Yes. Good. Pause for a second. Now, if we use all of our bow on the note right before it, because we have a slur, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're slurring into it. Then we probably won't have enough room to make it come out. Which is the trick of violin playing. Okay? Pianists don't have slurs like violinists, or like they don't have a bow to make a slur like a violinist does. And we have to not only think about crescendoing, but we have to think about how much bow we're going to use in order to make that crescendo happen. Okay? Excuse me. So we have to slow the bow down so we have more space for that top note. Right. Here it comes. Back down. Again. Right. Will you vibrate that third finger
Which one?
in the octave?
Oh.
Why not? Excuse me. Hey, yes, that's right. Exactly. It just adds so much extra sound to your already excellent playing. Okay. So, are we at time? I would say go through the piece and find the phrases, how long they are. If there's many phrases, figure out where the top of the phrase is, and then lead to it. Okay? And as I said, you already actually feel phrases subconsciously. I was actually pretty impressed with how beautiful your sounding was. It had a lot of good phrasing. But being aware of where the phrases are is just going to elevate your playing to a whole new level. So, excellent job. That was beautiful. You have lovely tone. All right. I think my thoughts for you, because again, you all have this beautiful natural flow towards phrasing, but sometimes our subconscious doesn't always connect everything in the phrases. Does that make sense? So let's see if we can just add a little bit more length, stretch like an umbrella over the phrase so that it can just sit nice and comfortable and be all together. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's start Let's start from the beginning, and I'd like. I would go all the way to the next part, okay? Connect this to the next note. Yes, and even though you're resting, you're still connecting to the next note. That's it. Keep going.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. Connect to the next note. Yes, yes, good. Yeah, I like that you like the second finger, because it just is easier to make a beautiful vibrato on, right? Rather than your fourth finger. But sorry. I'm playing the wrong note. Let's see if we can. How can we get rid of that space? Because if we put a space there, it kind of chops off the phrase a little bit, right? I don't know. Try something, and we'll talk about it. Yes, that was totally connected. Now, we want to connect that part to the next part. I sometimes, in pieces like this, it's not always true, but in pieces like this, it's just almost one never-ending phrase, because the melody line is so beautiful, you want it to end, right? So, you connect it so well, and then let's lead to the next part. And this leads to the next part. And then we can take a small breath, but even that's going to the next part. Okay, so let's try just that much from Measure 9. Keep going, that's okay. There you go. Connect and go on to the next one. Yes. Yes, and a little breath, but thinking of the next one. Let's see if you can connect to the next part. There you go. Yeah, good. Yes, you are getting the right idea. That's exactly right. You're just moving through the phrase, the rests and the phrases going on to the next one. Let's talk about this note. We want to make sure that we do allow that breath and space. I was talking to Creed about the ring that finishes the phrase, right? So this is one of those moments where we get to let the ring finish the phrase. Let it ring a little longer before you go on. Does that make sense? Probably not add extra space because you already have a whole quarter note rest, but we don't want to end it so abruptly. Does that make sense? I want to let the ring catch the rest of it, okay? Will you try that? This is 15, 16, 17, measure 17. Small taper. Yeah, that was lovely. Okay. I think you have the right idea. Just keep going. We'll just catch the next part. Okay, 19. I think it's F sharp. Go to and then you have that little pickup. Right? I think that's the right spot, right?
Oh, I thought we were up there.
That's okay. Okay. Let's move on. I had another thought. Oh, you know what? This is what I was thinking about. Right before you come in at 47, what is the piano doing? You have a big long break, right? And the piano has this little solo happening. But what's the motion of the solo?
It's kind of like building up to when the violin comes in.
Yes. Okay, now we want to, as that happens, when it's your turn to come in, you want to make sure that you're matching the energy and the motion of it, okay? So when he's going to play, you should just play the 4 measures before when the key change happens. Better. Have you ever taken a breath and then set the bow on the string before you start?
Probably.
Okay, will you try that right at this moment, because she's got all this stuff going on, and then right before you're like breathing in the energy she's directing towards you, and thankfully she's a fantastic pianist, because not every pianist would be able to send that energy. So breathe it in, and then set your bow right before you play. Okay? Try that. Yeah. Big breath in. And good. Yes, that was beautiful. That really was much more in the same level as where the piano was coming. I still think, I like to over-exaggerate things sometimes. And as you continue playing violin, I think you'll get to that point where you feel comfortable with doing something like that. But I want you to go above the violin before you set, because that energy, you're kind of matching it with the motion of your body too. You caught the sound. And then remember to go into the next note. But give it a little bit more breath. It might be a little uncomfortable for a second, but try it a couple of times just so you can see what it feels like to set. Okay? Start breathing it in. This next note. Don't lose any of the dynamic level. Da, da, da. Yes, okay. Yeah, let's talk about that. Why did it drop in sound? Besides having a little slip for a second, but
I wasn't quite paying attention.
Okay, that's okay. Now, besides that, what was the bow doing? Was it using all of the energy that you could use? No, it was kind of it got caught in what was happening with the fingers, right? So let's try it again right here, and I want you, do you want the music? Or are you good? You're probably just fine without it, right? Okay, so let's do the same thing, maybe 2 measures before, and when you come in, you're thinking like you have to use all of that energy to keep matching, because she's still moving underneath you, right? In the music, it actually says with motion, which means that you have this energy. You're not speeding the tempo up, but you have this energy that it's going somewhere. And if our bow is going too slow or using too little, then we're not quite following that direction. Does that make sense? Okay, so try one more time. That's right, the most energy that you have. Keep going. Whole bow. Yes. Keep it connected to the next note. Yeah. Do you feel like that was connected? Do you hear a space? We don't want any space. In fact, I would crescendo into that note and then crescendo into the next note. Can you try that? So, to this note and then keep going. Same thing, crescendo into that note. Because this is the climax of the entire piece. So we need the most energy. Okay, so let's try from 4, 7, 4, 9, 51, right here. Oh wait, yes, that's it. Connect, crescendo into the next note. There you go. Crescendo to this note. Beautiful. Now, let the ring finish the phrase. That was it, exactly. And to the next note. There you go, good connection. Yes, let it finish, let the ring finish the phrase. Lovely. Go to the next note. There you go. Good. Let the ring finish the phrase. That's it. This is like a prayer. Connect to the very last note. Yes, can you connect? You can totally take, oh, look, it's written retard right there. So you can take as much, I mean, not as much time, but take a little bit of time getting to that very last note. And Whitney will follow you. But don't stop the sound. Don't do what I just did. Go and take the very last note. Yeah? 66, yeah, that's a good spot. Lovely. I thought I had one idea. Would it be too weird to do a harmonic on that last note? I don't know. So you're playing. Right? And then just to add a little bit more fairy dust to the last note. I don't know. Try it. Try it from exactly where we were. Still think you could have set the next note before you play. And set the next note. That's it. Yeah, good. What do you think of the harmonic?
I like it.
I actually think that it's more clean because you don't have to change, you don't have to skip the A string to get to it, right? Yeah, I don't know. I think a piece like this you can take a little bit of freedom to do things like that. But you decide, you can play either one. But I think it would be lovely. Anyway, beautiful. Lovely. You're welcome.
How old are you? 17.
Okay, very good. It sounds like you have found a place while playing Bach that feels comfortable, and that's a really good place to be to play Bach. Okay, now I have a question for you.
Okay.
The recordings that you listen to, are they quicker recordings? Have you? I mean, I should say, do you listen to a variety of recordings of this piece? Okay.
Yeah, there's a wide range of speed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It depends on who you listen to. Some will take those 30-second notes, 64th notes pretty quickly, and some will play them like 16th notes. So, which do you prefer?
I feel like I'm somewhere in between. When I first learned this, I played it slower than I did now,
Mhm.
so I've kind of gotten both. I think playing it faster is harder, so.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But,
Interesting. I don't know if I would have thought that. How quickly do you play it? Is it about this speed or is it?
It's maybe barely faster than this.
Okay, so you do
but pretty
take your
close to this.
64th pretty quick. Okay. I am on the slower side. And I mostly just so I can hear all of those notes because there's a lot of notes, right? Okay, so this is too much weight on that side. Okay. So will you try playing it just a tad?
Yeah.
I think what I'm missing, it's not even so much the 64th and 32nd notes going quickly. It's more the breath in between the chords. Does that make sense? Setting for it. So that's kind of what I was talking about with Creed. Just there's no pianists underneath you, right? And you do, but obviously Bach, you want to stay in a very steady tempo. There's no rubatos written in or anything. But there is a little breath that you can use in between. So can you try it one more time? I'll stop you when I feel like it. Yeah, okay. Now here's another thought. Try playing those longer notes just a hair longer.
Okay.
Keep it the same tempo. Just hold them like enough that you're gonna fall off the edge before you go to the next note.
Okay.
This one. Breathe. Yes. There's that. How long is that note? Rest.
That's a good. So
How
that's
many is
16.
it?
That's a 32nd.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so tiny,
Yeah.
but it's still a rest. Take advantage of it.
Okay.
Like really actually stop the sound, breathe, and then go to the next
Okay.
part.
Cheers.
That was lovely. What did you think?
Yeah, I like it. I felt like it was easier to get like all the notes. I think every note is like so important in Bach, and so it's like,
Yes, especially his like held notes.
Right.
Because those are like those organ notes that just like
Right.
he can sustain them with his foot while he's playing something else, right? Okay, let's try that again. Take that 30-second breath and move forward. 30-second breath, and then go on
Okay.
with that same idea. That's your tempo. You don't want it to go faster than your bass tempo. Yes, good. Use that. Let's see, where are we at? I totally lost. It's easy to get lost in this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm playing. There's something wrong with my bow. I somehow, right where I want it to sustain. Okay, just hold on to those longer notes.
Okay.
That's one of those.
Yeah.
Just all the way to the tipping point. Yes, that just adds so much more maturity to Bach. Let's try it one more time. I wasn't totally convinced about that 30-second rest. That 30-second and then 64th run wanted to just push its way in there, but give that breath in there. Okay, let's start. In fact, let's just start right from the chord right before.
Okay.
G minor. There's your tempo. Hold, don't go faster. Right there, yes, exactly. Those 16 notes, we want to play them quick like the other pieces, the other quick notes, but they are like the slower end.
Yeah, that's when I'm
the
working
note
on
values.
like keeping it. I feel like I've been rushing a lot of like with N measures. I've been rushing the 16th.
Yeah, it's not a big rush, but certain people will notice.
Yes.
So yeah, exactly. So the whole idea of just like settling into Bach is going to just, create this maturity in your Bach a lot more, because your sound is gorgeous already. You're allowing, and going along with the idea of Bach being an organist, the organs are always in a cathedral, right? Or big, large church. And you have this huge ceiling, which creates that lovely resonance that you wouldn't get in a small practice room, right? You can create it in a small practice room if you're listening for it and you're trying for it. Yeah?
Right.
Okay. And then when you get to a big room like this, it's just even better. Okay. Good. I think there was a couple of notes in that scale down. Let's see, and then maybe a couple other things. And I think that just slowing it down just a tiny bit you'll be able to catch those notes really quickly. I'm not going to do note checks because you can do that at home. But let's just, how much time do we have, David?
I would say another
10 minutes. Let's just keep going. Let's just play through it and see where we're at.
Maybe I'll start on that.
Yes, that's a good place to start.
Yeah,
and then
so
let's
just
keep the
brushed it,
16th notes. Yeah, like a walking tempo.
Yeah. Okay.
Rather than thinking of them as 16th notes.
Yeah.
Right. Can you slow them down even more? Phrase one more time. Work on, of course, no squeaks right there. And then right here, let's make those a little bit more. Right there, it's an interesting rhythm. It's not, I don't know, like so many of these other 16th notes or runs where they're all kind of about the same. He's saying something here with that rhythm. So let it be heard. Almost. Hold on to that 16th note. Oh, there is that 16th note that wants to be longer. My bowing's not what I want. to that 16th note longer. Yes, and guess what? There's another 16th note right there.
Yeah.
Again, the F.
Seems fun,
Yep, can you make that second 16th note a little bit longer? Right, exactly. Feel the tempo. And hold this as long as you can. 4 and
Okay.
good. Yes, exactly. Go on. There we go. What kind of note value are these ones?
Let's see, these are probably our 16th, yeah.
Yes, holding the right here.
Oh, wait, here.
Eighth note. And how long can you hold this? That's got a fermata on top of it.
Yeah.
Quarter
Okay.
note with a
Let's see
fermata.
what's this.
That's like a whole note with a fermata. 2, 3, 4. Yes, and then you have to taper the end, right?
Sustaining, it's different when you're going slower.
Exactly. And you're playing at full volume, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, so it doesn't have to be longer than, much longer than 4.
4, yeah.
Yeah, 4/16.
Yeah.
So just stretch it out just a little bit longer. Try not to use so much at the beginning. And hold it. 3, 4. Yeah, yeah. Good. Okay, and then there's not a rest written there, but because of the fermata, we have to let that the ring of that chord finish before we can go on. It's just that settling into it, right? And is it a consonant chord or a dissonant chord?
It's dissonant.
Very dissonant, which means that Bach was trying to make a statement with that, right? Exactly. So hold it and don't cut off the surprise of that chord until you're ready to move on.
Let's see, we're okay.
Breathe. To the tipping point. There we go. Again, here's another 30-second rest. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Can you just go to that A? Yes, and it doesn't. Sorry, I know I play a little bit like the 36 and 64. It's a little bit slower. You can play them at your speed. Just breathe into it, right? Yeah, try it again. Yeah, points. Yes, good. Be aware of this rhythm really quick. 8, 16th, 16th. There you go, that's right. Yes, yes, that one was a little bit quicker than it should be.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, let's try that again.
I don't know. Yeah, it's always the eighth notes.
Make it a full.
Oh yeah, the eighth and the 16th.
That was better.
Okay.
The rhythm was better here. Let's try it one more time. And when you get to that note, that's another one of those.
Let it breathe.
Yeah, exactly. Again. Yes, exactly. Eighth note. Yes. 16th. Yeah, that's right. Don't rush these, but really play into them. That's right. No. It's impossible to play this at the, like the full value of that. But just hold it as long as you possibly can, and then let the sound just disappear. Not because your sound is disappearing, but because of the ring at the very end. Yes. Don't forget to hold that 16th note. We rushed a little bit through that. Do you want to try it one more time?
Let's do it.
Let's try it from here. Beautiful. Good job. Good luck with whatever you're preparing for.
Thank you.
beautiful. Because you don't have the music, I might have to just ask you to play a couple things.
Okay.
Okay. Really nice, clear sound. Yeah, you're taking full advantage of the tall ceiling and letting it ring to the top. Whenever I hear Vivaldi, I always remember back when David was a student. The conservatory, the GMS Conservatory, played a lot of Vivaldi.
I'm doing that this year.
Are you playing with the conservatory? Okay, good. And one thing always stuck to me is Eugene said Vivaldi was like the rock star of his generation. Like, can you imagine? Like, he probably had really long, wild hair, and maybe he was headbanging while he was playing, or conducting, or whatever. But lots of extremes in his music, right? Like, he has like this beautiful, lovely da-da-da, and then all of a sudden, right? So I think the only thing that I would want to hear more of is hearing the extreme loudness, like the highs of the top volume that you can play. And I want to see horse hairs breaking off. Okay, so I love what is that da-da-dum, what is that supposed to be like imitating?
Something in summer.
Okay. What's usually out in the summertime? Like in nature that might imitate that sound? Or you had this da-da-da-da-da, like up, I don't have the music, but you were up on the E string and you were playing 1 4 1 4 1 4 quickly.
Birds.
Yes, exactly, like little tweeting birds, right? Da-da-dum, da-da-dum. It's like imitating the sounds of the birds in the trees, right? You play that lovely. And the other stuff you play beautifully too. I just want more like extreme excitement. Does that make sense? So can you play when it gets into the or I'm playing the wrong one. Yes, exactly. Yes, will you try that? And then you know where the climaxes of the phrases are. Right? Use more bow when that happens, and then drop the length again. Try it. Let's see how extreme the bow length changes can be. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable because I like to push students out of their comfort zone. But I want you to like really see how much bow you can use before you come back to the controlled bow. Okay? Yes, okay, good. Yes, you're doing it. Da-da-da-da-da-da. That's the good time to use as much bow as possible, and then it shrinks back down again, right? It's very instant, very like unsuspecting, right? Okay, now each time you're going up, you're going up in tiers, right? Each time that same sequence or the same pattern happens, it's going up one note at a time, right? So what should the volume level do?
Increase.
Yes. So you should have a broken hair by the last one, maybe. Just try it. That's it. Yes, keep going. Push yourself out of that comfort zone. Even more. Yes. Good, okay. Now you notice I kind of started getting a little squeaky, right? Which is okay when you're first attempting something like this. It's totally expected. Now, the more you practice that way to push yourself out of your comfort zone to create that more extreme dynamic, the more comfortable you'll get, and you'll figure out where your arm needs to be so you don't create that squeak anymore. Okay, let's try that again and just keep going until the end of the quick, loud part before you go back to the birds. Oh, good. Time out. Sorry. What is this imitating? You've got sweet, beautiful birds in the trees.
I almost want to say like a horse or something, but.
Okay. Yeah. Totally. Okay, that's your visual right now. Just maybe it starts with one horse and then a couple more, and then you have this pack of wild horses that you can't really control, right? Which is kind of what you're going for with this extreme idea. But you'll get comfortable with it eventually. Right now, I want you to go out of your comfort zone. You can squeak all you want. Even more. Right. Yes, don't come down quite yet. Keep it. Bigger. Yes. That very last note, can you let it explode a little bit more? Just a hair. Not to the point where it's like bombastic, but just a little bit more. Let's see. Like get all the way to the frog before you start it. Yes, that's the idea. And then, of course, you have to go back to the birds, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a quick change again. Try it one more time. Just that very last part. Mm-hmm. Did you like it?
No.
That's okay. It was the first attempt. Try it again. Good. Okay, just experiment with that. The one note that I really do want to hear more of is the very last note of the whole piece.
Oh, okay.
If you can jump to that, right before it. Can you play the very last fast section of the piece? Yes, okay. When you're going up to the top of those scales, what are you doing with the bow? Are you keeping it the same and just barely stretching, or are you gonna like really pull the bow? We'll go all the way to the top. Use as much bow as you can. You need to let go of one of those horsehairs. Okay. And that's the idea. And don't taper the end. I would say don't taper the end just because it's like that whole rock star thing. And it's just going to sustain like that. I'll give you an example. Almost crescendo out of it. Does that make sense? Okay, do the same thing. I still want. You were going out of your comfort zone. Second attempt will feel a little bit more comfortable, but still stretch. Okay? Almost there. The very end of that note was too nice. Of course, I don't know if you're going at the same speed. Can you hear the difference? Experiment with both ways. Mm-hmm. Oh, you need to go into it. Was that nice or was that extreme? That was very nice, yes. Let's go. Right before. Yes, it's still ending a little too nicely for me. I want like you to almost rip, I mean not shorten the length of the note, but almost rip it off the string. Yes, and then hold it there, right? Let that ring just go up to the top of the ceiling. One more time and I think you got it. Could you make it a hair lot longer?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the idea. What do you think?
Like that better.
Yes, your heart racing? Should be.
Yeah.
Slightly? Okay. Awesome. I think that's kind of all I have to say since I don't really have music. But good job. It sounds fantastic.